Calling to order the meeting of the Corporate Governance Committee. Mr. Kirsch, do we have public speakers?
We have 3 public speakers.
All right, let's hear from them. Are they going to speak on corporate governance issues? Or?
Good afternoon. We have 3 members of the public registered to speak today. As a reminder, we ask that all public speakers adhere to the MTA's rules of conduct and decorum. I would also like to remind our public speakers that in the interest of time and fairness to all speakers, we limit everyone to 2 minutes. Please be aware that there will be a warning beep to remind you that you only have 30 seconds to conclude your remarks. The first speaker is Jack Nuremberg, followed by Maddie Bucky Highland.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jack Nuremberg, and I'm the Vice President of Passengers United. So tomorrow's the big vote, whether or not to approve congestion pricing. And I know there was a press conference earlier with, I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the name from and I'm glad a deal was struck with the private bus companies for that exemptions would be up for consideration, considering that many of the people who use these private lines come from areas that the MTA does not cover or covers very sparsely. But on the topic of exemptions, I really think it's important that if there's going to be a toll and it's going to be set for everyone, it must be fair for everyone too. And I think that accountability starts with, of course, everyone on the MTA board as well. And I'm so glad that many of the MTA board members do use public transportation, and that should be strongly encouraged. We do want to see more of that. And, of course, if we do have people in executive management at the MTA who are driving into Manhattan, if this toll is going to be imposed on other people driving into Manhattan, they should follow the same set of rules as well. So I think I'm going to be submitting freedom of information requests. I really want to make sure that no one is, if transit workers are not going to be exempt, neither should those who are able to really actually pay this toll. So accountability starts with all of us here, and it really should be an incentive to take public transportation more, and I really hope that you all set an example for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Maddie Bucky Highland, followed by Charlton D'Souza.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maddie W. Bucky's Highland. For today's topic, I want to speak about several agenda topics today. We need to have the safety committee meet every month. In my hand, this is a book called Criminal Justice Today. A course I took in 11th grade in high school. The safety committee should meet every month to discuss safety as a provision. The second thing I want to speak about is we should, when the public safety announcements made at the MTA board meetings, what we should do in the bylaws is have do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America at every MTA board meeting prior to after the safety announcement made and before the public comment portion begins. Thank you, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, and our next speaker is Charlton D'Souza.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. So we need a working group of all the advocates that should be meeting with MTA once a month. At these public year meetings, we only get 2 minutes to speak, and a lot of times we don't get to really have that conversation that we need to be having with the departments. So I think, Mr. Chairman, that there should be a working group that meets once a month before the board meeting with MTA officials so that we can work out whatever issues we're having with different divisions or, of transit. Also, when we're coming up to 2 Broadway, this was mentioned earlier today, why is it that we have to empty out our water bottles and that we cannot bring water upstairs? And the only water upstairs on the 20th floor is the water fountain. And a lot of people don't like to use water fountains. So, Mr. Chairman, is it possible that they can get water upstairs so that people can, either that or can we bring our own water? Because the MTA police are not letting us do that. And I don't think that's fair, especially for people with diabetics. Many of us advocates are there all day. And we should be able to bring our lunch so that we can eat our lunch and our meals, especially when they have the board meetings and the all-day committee meetings like we're attending today. Because sometimes we attend them in person. That happens, right? We're all human. So that needs to be improved. Also, when people are coming into the building, they need to speed up the search process. Maybe they should have 2 working lines. And they should start early so people, who have disabilities, they can go first and get in faster. So like this, everything works out. And these are just some of the recommendations. I'm hoping, Mr. Chairman, that you will speak to the right people and get that implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the public comments section for the section. Chair, back to you.
Thank you, and thank you to public speakers. Folks, the minutes from the December 18th meeting is in your committee books. Any questions or comments regarding the minutes? In the absence of Mr. Albert, I hear none. May I, in that case, have a motion to approve the Corporate Governance Committee meetings? Motion. Thank you, Ms. Barbas. Second, Ms. Mahaltzis. All in favor? Any opposition or abstention? The minutes are approved. Mr. Kurz, can you take us through the agenda?
Okay, yes, I can. First on the agenda is the procurement guidelines. Pursuant to Public Authorities Law, Section 2879, this board is required to approve the procurement guidelines on an annual basis. We are not recommending any changes to the procurement guidelines at this time.
Okay. Questions or comments? In that case, may I have a motion? Mr. Chu, thank you. Second, Ms. Lopez, thank you. All in favor? Any opposition or abstention? The guidelines are approved.
Next on the agenda is the review of the MTA Code of Ethics. Each year, this board and this committee are required to review the MTA Code of Ethics. We are not making any recommended changes at this time. Next on the agenda is a mission statement and performance measurement indicator report. I believe, John, you are going to speak to that report.
Yes. The MTA and its board engage in oversight of agency operating performance throughout the year. The board, through its transit, rail, and bridge tunnel operating committees, closely monitors agency operating performance. Each operating agency reports its most recent performance data in posted monthly reports and in committee books distributed in advance of public MTA operating committee meetings, which are conducted at least 11 times a year. At these public meetings, operating agency results are reviewed and discussed by board members and agency senior staff. In addition, presentations focused on particular areas of performance are made by the agency staff to the board operating committees periodically through the year in accordance with the work plan schedule of each operating committee. The MTA also maintains a public data dashboard at metrics.mta.info for each of the MTA operating agencies, updated at least monthly, summarizing the agency's leading performance measures. Much of this data is also routinely posted to the New York State Open Data Portal. This report compiles the MTA mission statement, stakeholder assessment, and lists the MTA's strategic priorities and associated performance indicators used to evaluate and monitor the attainment of those priorities. The annual 2023 results of these performance indicators are available in Appendix A of the 2023 annual report on the MTA's public data dashboard, again at metrics.mta.info, and on the New York State Open Data Portal.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. Any questions? I just want to, we do this for a reason, so that folks will pay attention to our results and whether we're attaining goals. This is a pretty significantly positive year from those standpoints. So I think I urge all of us to spend a little time looking at it, and obviously we strive to make it all available through open data.
Yeah, I would say, again, this 2023 annual report, which came out with not as much fanfare as you may expect, details all the things that we did accomplish last year, and it's a pretty impressive set of results. And in addition, we'll arrange for those to be.
Before you leave today, you will have copies. I think it's already been provided, but we'll get some more.
Right. It recaps our results in addition to, get a much more detailed set of publicly available data than ever before you find online. And again, I think this hopefully our efforts have superseded whatever was originally intended by the legislation here to provide as much transparency as possible and in many forums as possible to discuss our strategies, which again, my team tries to do a lot to make sure it's out there all the time. And again, these abundance of public meetings allow us to discuss it at your leisure or pleasure.
Not this one, but, so I need to accept a motion to approve the 2023 mission statement, measurements, and performance indicators report.
So moved.
So moved. Second, Ms. Barbas. All in favor? Any opposition or abstention? The report is approved. And again, we're going to recirculate that annual report, which is not the exact same thing, but it's sort of a praesis of it. Lamont, go ahead.
Review of the whistleblower policies next. Each year, this committee and the board are required to review the whistleblower protection policy. The staff is not making any recommended changes at this time. Next on the agenda is policies requiring board approval. We have on the agenda the requirement pursuant to public authority law that this board approves certain policies. There are no policies requiring your approval at this time. And that is the last item on the agenda.
Okay. And actually, I'll take the occasion to mention the board. There is over the decades, there is a proliferation of policies that were written down, some before transformation, that pertain to organizations that are now bureaucratically different, yada, yada, and there is actually a process underway, premature to get into all the details, to actually go through every policy that was written down at whatever level of the organization, to reevaluate them and to put them in a order for this modern organization that we're all responsible for. So that's not what we're acting on, but just a point of information to the board. So with all of that, let me ask for a motion to conclude, to adjourn. Mr. Zuckerman, will you give me a motion? Thank you. And Mr. Jones, who's got a call to make, will second it. I have a motion. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.